I would like to introduce you guys to my good friend, my best friend, Corey Wade.
What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
How's everybody?
Everything's going all right. Well, all right. Let's just think about a few things right now. Okay, so what game did you play today, man?
To be honest, I mean, right now I'm stuck on The Last of Us. The Last of Us, the online is fire. A lot of people don't really know the online is fire. The story, people are known for the story mode, but they leave the game alone after they beat the story mode. But the multiplayer, if you haven't played it, trust me, you're gonna want to play it. It's very disrespectful in there.
Can you wait for part 2 to come out?
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that one, man. And I remember, you were working on a script for part 2, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember the script. I read it. It's some good stuff. If y'all don't know, he's good at writing and math. That's what he do. Numbers.
I really fell in love with the game so much. It's like on his iPad, I literally started a script for part 2 because this was before they even made the announcement for part 2. I had ideas of DLC content, 1 and 2, alternate endings, things like that, But when they announced part 2, I kind of had a small tear in my eye, I kind of felt sad, but you know what? I was happy because I was like, if somebody ain't going to do it, I'm going to do it, But all right. Let's get to the show. All right. Let's talk about top 10 games. It's a top 10 games maybe that you can, pretty much from any system that you can think about. Every system that you ever played, it's not really everybody else's top 10. It's like your personal fave top 10. So what's your personal favorite top 10?
So, my top 10, I have to write them down. Post to Drake, don't mind me. One of my top 10s, Contra.
Classic.
One hit kill, it's a hard game, but me and my brother, we beat it. It's a great game.
Hey, what about that Konami code? Up, down, down, left, right, BA select, start. Man.
I play it, exactly. Extra lights and all that, bro. Battletoads and Double Dragons, another good one.
Yeah.
Golden Axe, of course. A lot of people don't even remember that game.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
GoldenEye for 64, the original James Bond. When you could run around my short guy eye job and chop you to death and you don't even know where you're getting chopped from. We got WrestleMania the arcade game. Classic. We got Star Fox 64. And then the multiplayer Star Fox 64, when you had 4 players at your house, 4 dual screens. Listen, we used to go in Smash Brothers, the original, with Fox, Diddy Kong Racing. I think that was before its time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mario Kart, of course, and then last but not least, Streets of Rage.
Okay, that's your top 10?
Yeah, it's my top 10.
All right.
It was hard for me to pick 10. But
It was hard for you to pick 10? All right. Out of those 10, just for the audience, everybody that's viewing, from out of your top 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each game, what do you think about, from each game of your list that, you name, from graphics to sound, things like that. Let people know because, you never know. People might probably just pick up the game, probably find it on Amazon or something. Also, disclaimer, just letting people know, we're not sponsored by these games. We just like to let people know that we love video games just as much as you guys.
But if you do want to sponsor...
But I'm just saying, just letting people know, we're not doing this to sponsor any games or anything. We're just doing this because of our love and dedication to video games, Something that, I've really dedicated my life to love playing video games, And yes, you're going to come to my top 10, my first top 10 of video games of all time. But, right now, we're with my great friend Corey Wade, and we're going to talk about, his top 10 games and why are there his top 10 games of all time.
My first pick, Contra. I picked Contra because a lot of games now are very easy, very short. 4 hours, 8 hours, you're done. Contra was competitive, but fun. And realistic. Sometimes too realistic. When you die more than one time, you're like, yo, this game's stupid. Or you want to turn your system off because you die too many times. But I don't know anyone who beat that game by themselves. Like, that game is two-player worthy. You have to play two players because there's just so much bosses. Your dodging game got to be on point. You got to run backwards, know when to jump, know when to duck. The graphics at the time were pretty good for its time. It was pretty good. The graphics, of course. All the games' graphics weren't bad because that's what was hot at the time.
Yeah.
But the music, I know some people. Sorry to do this, guys. I'm sorry, but I know some people like the new Xbox because you can play music while you're playing your games, or you can split screen and all that nonsense. But me, as a gamer, I like to hear the game music. I don't like hearing other music while I'm playing the game. It kind of probably tends to throw me off and mess me up. So I rather like listen to the game sounds and get locked in and play the game without music interrupting me, to be honest.
I definitely feel you on that.
So all the game graphics were real good. If you haven't played any of those games, you need to get an old system. You need to hop on and release your inner child again. Those games were fire. Trust me, you will not be disappointed at all. None of them. And I had more than that. It was hard to pick those 10. I had so many other systems I could have went to. Like WrestleMania arcade game, the reason why that was fun for me was it wasn't before its time, it's perfect. But if they was to remake the game, I would cop it today. It was a game to where you had so many wrestlers. You had Doink the Clown, Undertaker, Bam Bam Bigelow. You had Razor Ramon, Bret Hart. But here's the kicker: when you had a special bar, you had like a combo. Of course, because you played it.
Yeah.
You had a combo sequence to what you can do with your character as a special finish. And Doink the Clown. Listen, let me tell you, when you play that game on hard, that game's no joke. Doink the Clown got a move where he bounces off the ropes and Joy buzzes you with a handshake. Then hits you with a mallet. Like, the game was fun. So you can play that game for hours. GoldenEye, same thing. You can play that game for hours. You have 4 controllers at your house. Your 4 boys came over. Y'all are playing GoldenEye for hours. We used to have a rule: no power weapons. We're not playing none of that. We used to play landmines only, to where we throw landmines on the ammo box. Somebody running by, you get blown up. Like, you got to think outside the box in certain games. When we was playing those games, when we had remote mines, we used to run around the watch all day, waiting for somebody, just so we could blow them up. Like, all the games that I named were fun, fun.
I remember on GoldenEye where me and my cousin Joshua, we used to throw like the proximity mines on the opening, so that when you open it up,
Yep.
you got blown up instantly.
Yep.
You're like, yes, I'm about to set this mine. As soon as you open it up, boom! And you're like, oh snap! You was afraid to go anywhere on that.
Do you know what we used to do?
What's that, man?
Like, say if you're on the other side of the door and you're trying to open up the door, as soon as you hit the open, I'm on the other side, closing it back. So the door would be like this, going up and down. Going up and down. And I'm like, all right, let me dip now. Heading to the dark corner, you run right past me, I run the other way.
Oh yeah, those dark corners and the temple.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Man, the temple was.
We used to throw proximity mines on their body armor.
As soon as you get the body over, you get blown up. That was bad, because it's like with the camera angles at that time, during that time, it was like you didn't really think about somebody doing like a mime on the body armor, because you're thinking like, if I do a mime on the body armor, is this gonna blow up on me? Or nope, that wasn't the case. You do that mime on there, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna wait.
Yep.
Slappers only with license to kill. That was the best. That was the best, because it was like, and there was like our special rules. We couldn't pick Odd Job. We couldn't pick Odd Job. Odd Job was like the biggest cheat of all time, because he's like 2
feet.
yeah, like a frame, like mad frame short. And Jaws was like OD tall, so he was like the biggest, easiest target
You know
of all time.
You know how I used to hate?
What?
Everybody used to All right, so first play used to always have James Bond,
Yeah.
right? Then we used to pick Natalia, the slowest runner in GoldenEye, yo. I don't know why they made. I guess it was a sexist thing at the time. She could not run for anything.
She was like the slowest.
James
runner.
Bond, he's out. Natalia's like, damn, yo. Our job, yeah, he was short, but he'll chop you to death at the knees.
Oh yeah.
He's chop you to death at the knees. And I'm sorry, but I gotta add one more game, bro. I feel bad because it just hit me. Aladdin.
Aladdin was great.
And I still remember the code. Genie, Jafar, Aladdin, and Abu.
That was like the last boss, I think. Was that the last boss battle? I think that was the last boss battle.
Girl, I'm telling you, it's just so many classic games that came, and now look where we at now. It's crazy.
Man. That is crazy. Well, those are your top 10. Oh man, my top 10. It was very hard for me to get down to my top 10. Here's my top 10. Even though you're gonna question number 9, I'm gonna let you know why number 9. My top 10, starting from 10, Star Tropics.
Okay.
Star Tropics 2, to be exact. Star Tropics 2, Zoda's Revenge. Why I say Zoda's Revenge? Because I played Star Tropics 1. And I liked it. I played it a lot. But it was like the game, to me itself, was kind of short. Mm-hmm. With part 2, they expanded. They had me going to more places. The gameplay was better. Instead of you jumping like up and down or left and right, you can jump diagonally now. Mm-hmm. You could use certain weapons and you could use it in a diagonal flow. So it was like, yes, because in part 1 you couldn't do that. And it was terrible. And then it was like, the game itself, it was more fast. It was fast paced, but then the characters itself really brought the game to life. And it was like, after part 1, I was like, yo, part 2 gotta come out. Part 2 definitely gotta come out. Which is why when they made Smash Brothers Ultimate that just came out, I'm like, okay, I hope this is not the last Smash Brothers game, because if you personally ask me, the guy that created Smash Brothers, if he's going to do one more, but give us a whole nostalgia of characters that we could play with, special moveset, give us an arcade mode where each character have their own special story, things like that.
What they should do is, from all the Smash Brothers they made, just add everybody from the previous rosters.
Oh, they did that with Ultimate.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they did that with Ultimate. You gotta pick up Ultimate.
I know they got Ken in there too, I heard.
Yeah, Ken, he's in there. Yeah, he joins the battle. That's a great game. I'm just saying, like, if he ever do another Smash Brothers, please call it Smash Brothers Supreme. I should get some money for that licensing or something. But anyway, Smash Brothers Supreme, and then basically just add nostalgia characters like Mike from Star Tropics. Number 9, I would have to put the whole trilogy of Double Dragon.
Okay.
1, 2, and 3. Why? 1, it brought an arcade edition. You could play with 2 characters on the same screen. But on the NES port, you couldn't play. It's like you had to take turns, kind of like a Mario concept.
Okay.
Part 2 was hilarious and it was great. Even though my cousin Josh, he would play with you could hit your friendly fire.
Oh yeah, all the time.
So if you get up by mistake and you got kneed, he would chase you around and knee you back. And believe me, that knee was deadly. I'll tell you like this: the knee was so deadly. If I ever see somebody get kneed like that in real life, I would say, teach me. Yeah, as I was saying, man, like Double Dragon, like, hold on. I think I got you guys right now. That knee was ruthless. Like, it was bad. If you got hit with a knee like that in real life, I'll pray for you, because I know you're not surviving that. Like that, I got the sound right here. That sound right there, that like, once you heard that sound and you got kneed, it was bad. It was, seriously, if you was playing with a partner and you had a partner like my cousin Josh, if he got hit and he would attack you continuously till you catch you with that knee, you was dead. And don't be by any cliffs. Seriously, if you was by a cliff, it was over for you. You had to wait till the board was over. Seriously. Well, unless if you didn't have no men left, then you would have to wait to the continue screen. Can you imagine sitting there for a long time while the person's going through the board and you're like, I could have been helping you out if you didn't kick me off the stage? He's like, come on, man, this is realistic, man. You gotta take this realistic. Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stones. That out the trilogy, I think that was the best because they innovated the game so much. Because in part 2, you used to walk really slow throughout the board, but in 3, you can run, you can do a jump kick, and you could cling onto the wall and jump kick to your partner. And if your partner caught you, he could throw you at the other person. So it was like that gameplay innovated. Like it just changed all of gameplay for me when it came down to Double Dragon 3, and I loved it. The different characters of Chang and the ninja. Even though Chang, he was OP, he was super powerful, especially if you fought against him. He was like, you killed my brother, now I will get my revenge on the Double Dragons. And he will literally, if you played on the hardest mode, bro, you was dead. You was dead because he will automatically have the claws, and he was like, he would beat you up. And it's like, yo, like, bro, like, are you serious? In that game, you couldn't, it's like, the code for the continue, you only got one continue. And you can only put in that continue one time. So you had to sparingly use that continue. Like, you had to literally go through the game without using that code for that continue.
Listen, I'm not gonna, listen, there's a game that you just reminded me of that's just like what you just told me. So they came out with a Contra for, I think, PlayStation 2 or 3.
Contra Neo, or
I don't remember the name, but
I think it's Shattered Soldier.
But what happens was, it's like a board you have to beat, right?
Yeah.
Then if you die, you got to do all of them over again.
Yeah. Contra, Shattered Soldier.
Bro, when I was playing at my boy house, right?
Yeah.
I'm playing them, okay. Contra, man, it's like the old school breeze. Still one hit. I'm okay, boom, beat one board, beat the second board, died. Okay, I'm gonna continue from the same spot. Nah, bro, you gotta do all of them all. I'm like, wait, what? This is stupid. I don't know anyone to this day that beat that game, yo.
Yeah, that game is still doubly like one of the hardest games known to man. Harder than Dark Souls, and that's bad.
And Dark Souls is hard, and I
Yeah.
beat Dark Souls. I beat Dark Souls, bro. There's only one boss I didn't beat. That game, that's another good game. If y'all didn't pick up and y'all like challenges, get Dark Souls 3. You won't be disappointed. Not back this time.
For number 8, it was a real toss up because I really had to sit and think about it. And when I have to say for my number 8, since that I'm a Jackie Chan fan, Jackie Chan Stuntmaster. Game was hilarious. It was fun. It was one of the 3 games that I picked up where when I first got my PlayStation, the poor Jackie Chan acting, but it was like the replayability was funny as hell, and I liked that game. It was like real challenging and real fun. And each time you got like certain unlockables, you unlocked like a small movie or a small like action clip from one of Jackie Chan movies, and it was a fun game at that time. That's why it's so low on my list as number 8.
This is why top 10s are hard, bro.
Yeah.
I had 2 more games that I could have put on, but I don't know what I would have took off. Jet Li's Rise to Honor.
Yes.
The Matrix.
Oh yeah.
Man. Go ahead. Just reminiscing.
Number seven, I will have to put Pitfall for Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Not Pitfall 3D. Even though Pitfall 3D was a great game, I would have to say Pitfall for Super Nintendo was crazy. The train segment, the minecart segment was like the hardest segment that I've ever played in my life. And the music itself was very, like, I loved the music. The music itself was just, it was great. I loved the music from that. But the gameplay itself, the platforming, I would have said that if Activision would have really kept up with the Pitfall series, they could have ran Mario for a run for his money. Actually, Pitfall Harry was literally like Nathan Drake before Nathan Drake came out. Because Pitfall Harry was a guy that was hunting for treasure, looking for things, and he had his whip and everything. So it was like as soon as Pitfall Harry came and he left, Nathan Drake came into the picture. Which comes to number
Sounded
6.
like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, no, he kind of was. Kind of was. Number 6 of my favorite games of all time. Number 6, I will definitely have to go to the PlayStation era, and I would have to say Metal Gear Solid. It was very innovative. I liked the sneaking, the master of sneakiness, Snake, Solid Snake. It was great, and you know the Snake. What's wrong? Snake, Snake. I played that game when I used to get the PlayStation Underground demo disc, and that game right there was. It was great. I loved it.
You know, it's crazy. I was never really into that game back in the day until I actually picked it up and played it. I was like, yo,
This game is pretty alright.
this game's pretty alright, son. Because me, I'm not really the sneaking around type. I like action just to run out and shoot people. But if you run out and shoot people in Metal Gear, yeah, it's not going to end well for you, bro. When everyone knows and the alert stays on 100, yeah, bro. But the latest one that they came out with,
The Phantom Pain.
no, not that one. The one that we played. What's the name of the one? The one that had Raiden in it.
Revengeance.
No, not that one. That one was good too. Revengeance was good. I like that one. Nah, the one where Raiden was fighting some kind of vamp.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yes, that was one of my favorite Metal Gear Solids. If you haven't played that game, pick it up. You won't be disappointed. Trust me.
And it's cheap too.
Cutscenes are crazy too.
Yeah.
Alright, back to us.
For Metal Gear Solid, I will have to say number 5, Brave Fencer Musashi. Brave Fencer Musashi. The only reason why I say that game is because it was one of the quite few games that implemented like a sleep system. You could play throughout the day and everything, and even play throughout the night. But then there was a meter where your character actually got tired. So if you kept fighting and you didn't get no sleep, your character attacks will become weaker. He started moving slower, and the game was very challenging. It was very challenging, and you know it was one of my favorite games. And it's like I picked that game up, and I played it, but then I couldn't find it no more. The game like itself, it broke. Like the disc broke, and I cried a couple of days because I couldn't like it was like after that copy of that game I couldn't find it nowhere, and now they sell it on Amazon for like close to $100, and I'm not paying $100 for a PlayStation game. I'm sorry. I just can't do that. I can't do that right now. That's for my number 5. Now my top 4 favorite games of all time. It was very hard, very grueling to think about. But for number 4, I will have to say back to the PlayStation era, PlayStation 3 era, Uncharted 3. Uncharted 3 was one of the best Uncharted that I've ever played.
Yes.
Storyline wise, I liked it, even though they did a fake out when they had me think that Sully was dead. Kind of pissed me off. Kind of pissed a lot of people off. Like, you can't kill Sully. Sully is like people's Daryl from The Walking Dead. You kill Sully, we riot. That's how it was with us.
If you want to know who Sully is, play the game. Gotta pick it up.
But you know, when they had us like, oh, sorry, spoiler warning. Sorry, I had to put that disclaimer out there because if y'all haven't played it yet, major spoiler alert. You can fast forward if you guys want, but you know, I'm just letting you guys know. In that segment of the game where you know, where it looked like Sully died, it was like crap.
Graphics on point, gameplay on point, multiplayer on point.
The gameplay part. Now, when I was jumping from Humvee to Humvee, it reminded me from Uncharted 2 from the train segment. But I feel that even though the train segment was hard, that jumping from a Humvee to a Humvee, fighting bad guys, and there's a special trophy where you have to defeat everybody using fisticuffs on the Humvee, and it's so hard to get it when people are shooting at you. They're shooting at you. So it's like jumping from Humvee, getting shot up. You know, yes, you got regenerative health, but still, they're still shooting at you at all different angles. So to do that and to get that, and you had to do it on 10 Humvees, which made it even worse. You had to do 10 Humvees to jump from place to place and fight people with fisticuffs. It was crazy. Now, down to the multiplayer component, I think it was the best because you could run. They had perks in there where, like, you know, if you had a cluster bomb, oh man, me and my friends, we used to throw cluster bombs galore. The sniping in that game was on point because me, my friend, you know, Sniper PP, IPP, Vila, Just Josh, Rayman at the time. We all was like just sniping people, throwing cluster bombs. My cousin Joshua would run around with the shotgun, shooting people in the back. Get down from there. You know, he would pump people's bodies while we were laughing and everything. There was one time he shot somebody in the back, he started pumping on his body, and everybody ran over there and started pumping on his body, started doing like dance moves. I mean, like, we got hate mail from that, but hey, you know, who doesn't get hate mail?
Y'all thought Fortnite was good with the dance moves?
Oh, nah.
Uncharted started that dance move.
Yeah, Uncharted.
Funny as hell.
Uncharted really started the dance move craze. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care what the game did before Uncharted. Uncharted revolutionized that whole death segment.
Facts.
You know, that's my number 4. Down to my top 3. My top 3. Oh, it was bad. Oh man, it's crazy because it's like it was hard making this list, but I would have to say to the NES era, Astyanax. Astyanax was a very beautiful game and it was hard, even though the fairy did not help me out at all. How Navi helped Link out in Ocarina of Time, the fairy did not help me. You hit a certain stone, she'd be like, what do you want to do? Give yourself health or power up your weapon? Or do you want to recharge your magic? Why can't you give me all 3? I needed help in that game. And that game was great. The storyline, it was kind of kiddie-ish, but then when you thought about it, I mean, like, it was kind of like in a never-ending story kind of concept. Which made me like the game even more because I felt like playing the never-ending story without playing the never-ending story. You know, even though that game came out and that was awful, really bad. I'm sorry, it was terrible. I don't even know why they do that to themselves. You're just flying around with the white dragon, shooting things out your mouth, and the graphics and the gameplay was terrible. They should have scrapped it, should have burned it. I don't know what they was thinking at that time. I guess it was on the money train, cashing in the milk cow because the movie did a lot. It did good numbers at that time. Number 2. Okay. Anyway, number 2, my number 2 game of all time, I would have to say Final Fantasy 9. It was a tough choice between Final Fantasy 7 and 8, but Final Fantasy 9.
I was waiting for Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 9, it was great. I loved Final Fantasy 9. And my cousin Katrina, she bought that game for my birthday, and like I fell in love with that game, and like I loved it. The theme music from it, like the opening music from it, like it just really, wow. It really brought. It really, like, I loved it. Wait, you guys, you can't deny, you cannot.
Before that, I'm sorry, I just thought of another one as soon as you said Final Fantasy.
What's that?
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh man, see?
10 is so hard, man. 10 ain't enough, yo.
I know. It's like Final Fantasy 9 itself was such a great game, and it was like the gameplay itself, it left you like with so many side quests to get certain things, to get certain items, especially ultimate weapons or ultimate summons. well, Ideons, as they will call it in that one, the card playing system, which they innovated from Final Fantasy VIII, but the one in 9 was like, it was just way better. It was so much better. It was so much better than that. And I love that game so much. The theme song with the flute, it was just great. I loved it. The battle mechanics, it was like, yeah, you had your wait and active system, but the game itself, it was just like really, really right there. And it was oh man, like it just really stunned me from hearing like the music itself and the trance. Like Final Fantasy 7 you had your limit break. Your Final Fantasy 8 you had your overdrives. Well, not your overdrives, you had like, you know, your rage, I guess, whatever they called it. And then Final Fantasy 9 you had your trance where you ran into a trance and it was over. It was definitely over at that point. Like your character, if you build your character up just right with the AP system and different items, and that's the best thing about Final Fantasy 9, because when you master something, it's stuck onto the character forever. You know, with Final Fantasy 7, you know, you can master something, but if you change the item, they didn't have that no more. But with Final Fantasy 9, you mastered something, it was yours to keep. You mastered it. So there were so many things that you can master in that game, and it just sucked you in for gameplay hours. As you was mentioning earlier, you was like, you know, there's certain games nowadays where you can beat it in like in a couple of hours, you know. Mm-hmm. And people do speed runs, and the speed runs, it like goes, and it goes fast, and you're like, damn, sheesh. That was my number 2 game. Now my number one game. Oh man, it was a doozy, because a lot of people is going to be like, a lot of people are going to get upset. Because it's not a Mario game. It's not a Zelda game. It's a Squaresoft game, but it's none of the games that you would casually think that could be number 1. My number 1 game is Final Fantasy Tactics. Final Fantasy Tactics incorporated the job system to its core. And I mean, I played that game religiously every time. And yes, I know a lot of people are going to be like, what happened to The Last of Us? I know that you love The Last of Us. I mean, like, I can't just say that The Last of Us, you know, is going to take my number 1 spot, even though I love The Last of Us so much.
It's too new.
Yes. Yeah, it is too new, but Final Fantasy Tactics, I loved Final Fantasy Tactics because it was a game where I literally brought home and I showed everybody in my family. I showed my cousins. I was like, yo, you gotta play this. You gotta play Final Fantasy Tactics. You know, it was a system where if you wanted to level up, you could beat up your characters and level up real quickly. You could save one monster left, heal him, beat him up, and heal him again, and then you could use everybody else to beat each other up so that you could get a certain job class. And the job system was like so amazing on there until I found out there was a cheat. There was a cheat where certain job classes where if you want to learn one skill, you just hold down the square button, you press select, you press up, and you press down to a skill that you haven't learned, you press OK, then it would go, everything would just go to 0, and then after that you click out, go back on, and everything would say $9.99.99, and you can master it just as easy, and you're like, holy crap. This was out there and I didn't know about it. I killed some of my team members just to get a certain job for this. Oh man, but the storyline itself, it went from a war to a holy war, then to M. Night Shyamalan, because I didn't know what the heck was happening at the end of the game. The only thing I know, I had to beat somebody named Ultima, and that's it. Because she was trying to take over everything. She got the Zodiac Stones and she was trying to destroy everything. And it's like, okay, we was fighting a war. The war is about to be over. 50-year war about to be over. We finished the war. Then boom, here comes another war for the throne. So we're fighting in this war. And then a holy war happened. We collected holy stones. And then we didn't know why we was collecting the holy stones. And then boom.
That happening.
Yeah. It's like, boom. What's happening here? They using these holy stones to bring back a being so that they could control everything. And it's like, what? But then it was like the gameplay mechanics. And if you ever played chess, that's how the game was. The game was like an advanced version of chess. And it went by true zodiac signs. So if I was a Sagittarius and I was going against a male Virgo, my attacks was weaker against that male Virgo because he seemed deemed to be superior to me. And I'm like, no, I have to OP my character just in case so that I can beat this guy. And with the certain job classes, I love the ninja class. Why? Because you can use two swords. Use two swords, you could attack twice. So you're not getting ready to attack me. And then once they countered me, and then when you did the Hakido, there was a move called Hakido, where they was about to attack you, but you attacked them first and stopped their whole attack. That's my top 10 all-time famous games of all time. And
if you don't know what OP means, you're not a gamer.
Oh yeah, if you don't know what OP means, you're not a gamer. Now, here's something for you guys. You know, when I was talking about Final Fantasy 9, and where is it at? Because it should be here. Should be here. Should be here. No. Not that one. Here we go. Should we? I'm trying to go through it.
Another one. Killer Instincts.
Ah. Hey, wait. We got a little bit of time. We have a little bit of time.
I remember that one.
Here we go. This, when it came onto your system.
Remember that one too.
This was the best theme I've ever heard from any Final Fantasy game. And the only reason why I say this is my best theme from Final Fantasy is because like the music itself was just...
You know what else had good music?
What?
ActRaiser.
Yes, ActRaiser definitely did have good music.
My brother played that game. He was at the last boss Game Erased.
Oh man.
It never started over again.
Okay, so that's our top 10 best games of all time for us. Top 10. If you guys like sharing your comments of your best top 10, send them to us. And what we would definitely do is we would stream like 3 to 5 minute gameplay. We're going to get that very soon to a minute because we're going to play our top 10s. So we're gonna definitely stream that for you guys in a little bit. Right now we just had to let you guys know about our top 10. So if you guys would like to, just definitely send us your top 10s, and once we get your top 10s, we would definitely put it on our stream, let you guys know, and we could definitely give you a yay or nay, give you a thumbs up or thumbs down, of your top 10s, but leave in your description like of why it's your top 10, why it's your favorite top 10 games of all time. So now moving on from that, let's go with top 10 co-op games, like the top 10 games that you like playing co-oply with like your brother or your best friend, or well, I'm your best friend, but your friends, of your choice. What do you think about our top 10s? Why don't you comment about our top 10? If you like, why don't you, if you have like Nintendo, Wii, or if you have like PlayStation, if you have the games that we talked about, give us a comment. If you want to agree, like, with our top tens, you know, give us a yay or nay. You know, I perfectly, you know, don't mind the criticism.
You
because-
better like my top 10.
don't mind this guy. But I totally take in the criticism because I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "What? You didn't have no Mario? You didn't have no Zelda?" Because a lot of people have, you know, Legend of Zelda and Mario as their top 10.
That's why it's called the top 10. My top 10.
Yeah, I have my
Only
personal-
10 is hard. There's so many
Yeah.
games. Just choosing 10 is not easy.
Yeah, if it was a top 20, then of course there would have been a Mario up there. Of course there would have been, you know, it would have been a Legend of Zelda up there. You know, there would have been a lot of other games up there. You know, hidden gems like Star Tropics and Astynex. Those two games is like very like not really looked upon like that in the gaming world. So I wanted to mention that. I had to mention those games. You know, let us know in the comment section below of what other topics that you would like for us to talk about. You know, like things that you would like about gaming or how certain games should be remade. Me, I definitely want to talk about certain games that should be like either remastered, remade.